Welcome, everyone. My name is Ismail Chikhoune. I'm the President and CEO of the US Algeria Business Council. The US Algeria Business Council and the National Economic, Social, and Environmental Council of Algeria, under the leadership of its president, Professor Redha, with the support of the Algerian Embassy in Washington, DC, and the US Commercial Service at the US Embassy in Algiers, are pleased to have you participate in today's webinar. We extend our warmest welcome. Today's webinar is about Algeria's renewable energies program with a vision of 2035. I would like to thank and recognize our esteemed presenters, Professor Redha, President of the CNESE, Mr. Kamal Achab from the US Embassy, the US Commercial Service, and our expert, Mr. Dr. Mouloud BakliCountry. He is the country director for Gaia Energy Platform Africa partners. I would like to inform you that we will allow some time at the end of the presentation for Q&A session. And please use the Q&A option from your Zoom navigator bar to enter the questions. And also the webinar is being recorded. At this time, I would like to introduce you the US Algeria Business Council. The first slide here is to show you this is the banner we have to show you the slogan that we have. It is time to take another look at Algeria. These are our officers and partners and mission at the council, the membership, and also all the opportunities. The US Algeria Business Council was founded in 2002 and is the result of an Algerian and American business initiative. We are totally private and non-profit organization, and we are non-partisan. This is our officer, the chairman, Mr. Andy Wins from Lockheed Martin. And then we have the secretary of the board, Mr. Paul Burkhead from Eli Lilly, and Ryan Hills, the treasurer for the council from Amgen. The USABC collaborates, as I said, we are totally private, but we do work closely with both governments, including first the Algerian Embassy here in Washington, DC, under the leadership of His Excellency Majid Bouguera, who has been a very great support, and also the US Embassy in Algeria with the support currently with the DCM, Gautam Rana, and the entire team at the Commercial Service with Michelle Smith, and also we have today Mr. Kamal Achab presenting his presentation. We have the RedMed Group, which represents the council in Algeria since the day one, founding members in 2002. And also we have Mrs. Amel Benaissa. She's the general manager of Comsimba as the consultant. She's been working with us for more than 10 years now. We have a full-time employees, of course, for this organization. We are based in Washington, DC, and we have experience in both sides, on the US side and Algerian market also. And we intend to diversify the exchange between the two countries. The US Algeria Business Council works to enhance and improve the exchange between the two countries by facilitating business opportunities and providing direct market access for American as well as Algerian firms in all sectors of trade. These are all the sectors that we mentioned: agriculture, consulting, consumer, energy, pharmaceutical, aviation, construction, defense, high tech, and water resources. This is the chart. Just to give you an idea, when we started back in 2002, it was 80% was energy companies and 20% was defense. And I'm happy today to report that in 2021, we diversified. As you can see now, the leading is the pharmaceutical sector with 30%, and then comes the energy with 22%, and then having the agriculture at 18%, and following the other sectors. These are our board of directors, all the Fortune 500 companies. What we do is basically organize many events, either in Algeria or here in Washington, DC. And basically every single month we have an event here in the US. It can be in California or in other states or in Algeria also. And we intend to cover pretty much all the sectors. The upcoming event, we have the US Pavilion at the NAPEC Expo in Oran, which is going to happen soon from the 8th to the 11th in Oran. And also we have the US Agriculture Roadshow scheduled for January 15th to the 23rd. And in March 1st to the 3rd, we have the US Algeria Green Economy Forum and Expo. And this event is, we have a co-organizer with us, and we're happy to have the National Economic, Social and Environmental Council of Algeria joining us to organize this big event in March. This is the event in March. As you can see, is this flyer, and I invite everyone to visit this website, the US-Algeria-green-economy.org. You will see that everything is already on that website dedicated to this event. The USABC membership is open to all Algerian American companies that are looking for partnership and to do business, US companies to do business in Algeria. So I invite companies that are participating today, which are not members of the council, to join us, and we can help you accomplish your business there in Algeria. We are a facilitator, and we can help you to have access to the and find the right partner in Algeria, either on the public or in the private side. This is our website, which I invite you to visit after this webinar to have more idea what the USABC can offer as many opportunities. At this time, I would like to introduce to you the president of the CNESE. I'm gonna first read his bio. Professor Redha is the president of the National Economic, Social and Environmental Council, CNESE. Throughout his career in public service, he has served at different senior levels, such the Ministry of Finance, African Union Commission, led representative on the Pan-African Investment Code flagship program, and international oil companies. Further, he has gained high levels of expertise in a variety of core areas such as conflict resolution of investment, litigation, trade, international negotiations, regional and global value chain, and private sector development. He has also supervised many projects with the UN system in Algeria. He remains one of the trustworthy scientist advisors in different socioeconomic and financial global thematic area. He holds a PhD in the field of public administration and human resources in 2007. Additionally, he has gained a BS from the National Administration School, LENA, in 2000, a magister in 2002, and a postgraduate in finance from IFID Institute in 2004. In terms of research domains, he has gained extensive global recognition in the field of behavior and incentives in the decision-making process, among reputable research publications. He has led research on project management maturity, Dresden Technology University in Germany, efficiency of public spending in Serrano, Canada, and neuroeconomics in Nottingham Trent University of UK. Please, I would like to, the floor is yours, Professor Redha.
Thank you, Mr. Chikhoune. I welcome all our guests today attending to this conference discussing the future of the renewables the future of renewables here in Algeria. So, as it is mentioned on the table, we are discussing today the Algerian Renewable Energy Program for October 2021 up to date, according to the 2035 vision. What are the stakeholders in this field, and we can discuss also with you phases of transition in this from hydrocarbons-based system to renewables based system, and then we can also give you some insights and information about the ambitious program coming from the Algerian government about renewables. Can I start immediately?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, at the beginning, I have to say that Algeria is an oil and gas country, but since many years, and since 10 years exactly, Algeria started an ambitious program for renewables. Why for renewables? Because if you take this question of irradiation in the solar system, in solar photovoltaic, you have a big country in Africa with thousands of kilometers of solar irradiation, and you can generalize this idea for all sources of renewables, like CSP, like geothermy, like photovoltaic energy, and you have other sources in order to get the 22,000 kilowatt per hour. This is the Algerian program about renewables, but it is important for policymakers and industrial companies here to understand several or many things about investment in Algeria. So you have two ways. First one is tenders. American companies especially can deal immediately and directly with operators here in Algeria coming from the energy sector or renewables or energy transition sector, and companies from famous Sonal Gas, the electricity company here in Algeria. Or second way, investment to establish permanent investment here in Algeria. And this establishment will be set up according to the Algerian legislation and according also to bilateral treaties or multilateral treaties in the field of investment. I mean by investment treaties, all fiscal treaties and all mutual investment protection treaties and treaties for commerce, like for example. This is important for all American companies, enterprises in this field of renewable energies. They can explore the first field for the renewables, which is agriculture. Agriculture since 1983, Algeria started a big program during this period to assist Algerian agricultures to get energy in their fields. And also you have to supply energy in fields like infrastructure and like transportation, and fields like energy for generating electricity for houses and for other households and something like this. For your information, Algeria, under the framework of the Paris Agreement, Algeria has committed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 7% by 2030, compared to the business as usual scenario, which is indicated by Algeria during this period. And using this scenario, Algeria can, if it get some international support from European Union or from USA, from other multilateral institutions, Algeria can reduce 22% by 2030 of GHG, greenhouse gas. This is the important idea to be noted by you, and this is what can justify our program, ambitious program in renewables. President Tebboune has impacted the government, the whole program of the government by this tendency. We have to start immediately and quickly and with efficiency renewables and get or achieve this transformation of the model, going from this model based on the hydrocarbons, fossil fuels, to another new model based on renewables with many sources of energy. So feel free to be here in Algeria for getting jobs, getting projects, or that we think that we prefer is to establish an investment, permanent establishment in Algeria to get more benefits according to the Algerian law regulations, like less taxes, less investment problems, and with also more revenue, more income for you and for your company. The important thing to note also too is for us is to hire more and more in this sector, hire qualified people, and also realize this what we call technological or technological transfers to Algerian competencies. This is what I have to present today. Our objective is to introduce this fundamental change and ultimately prioritize clean energy instrument in Algeria, although this will depend on the effort and the willingness of key decision makers in our country. This is important for you. Other things, possibly as conclusion, there is big interest for renewables, big interest for American companies, for the American technology here in Algeria, taking into account different phases for this transformation, take-off, integration, and system setup, and 20% renewables as a source of energy. This is what I have to present, and I am here for responding to your questions, if there are questions. And thank you very much for your attention. And in the meantime, you can you can ask questions about renewables and also about investments and tenders. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Redha. We really got the message here that the Algerian government is looking to diversify now and moving towards sustainability, since you said that they are moving from the fossil hydrocarbon from the fossil to the renewables one, which is, and also thank you for inviting the US companies to consider Algeria. It is, as I said in the beginning, Algeria is open for business, and they do recognize the US expertise, and this is why this is the right time to consider investing in the renewable. It can be in solar or it can be in wind. As you heard Professor Thier saying that the government is already having on the pipe many of these projects, and we hope soon we're gonna have these companies, the US companies, involved in Algeria. At this time, I would like to invite our next presenter. It's Mr. Kamal Achab, Senior Commercial Specialist at the US Embassy, US Commercial Service. Kamal, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Dear friends, dear partners from Algeria and from the United States, it's a great pleasure for me to be with you today and to have this privilege to participate to this webinar. So I would like to seize this opportunity to give you a brief overview of the geography of Algeria, the economy of Algeria, the efforts Algeria has accomplished in a remarkable electrification, but also the way Algeria ambitions to maintain its dynamic and continue to grow its energy sector in the mid and long terms. So as you can see in the slide, by landmass, Algeria is definitely the largest country in Africa, with a population of 43 million inhabitants, ranking 6th in the continent. So you can notice that in the north, Algeria has borders with countries such as Morocco and Tunisia. In the south, with countries such as Libya, Niger, Mali, that's pretty much in the Sahel, to name a few. And just across the Mediterranean, that's the strategic position of Algeria. Very, very unique location. It faces right away European countries such as France, Spain, and Italy. Next slide, please. So this second slide will focus more on the evolution of the Algerian GDP per capita over the last 10 years. Of course, this is pre-COVID figures, but you can see that from around $150 billion in 2008, the GDP in Algeria was able to progress very substantially to over $200 billion in 2018, which represents an average growth, annual growth of over 2%. So it's very remarkable. And as shown is in the left side of the slide, Algeria is one of the most developed economies on the African continent, along with countries like, just to name a few, Egypt or South Africa. Next slide, please. So in this third slide, I think the key is to understand the weight and the impact of hydrocarbon resources in the Algerian economy wealth formation, because it still represents a third of the GDP. It still represents a little over 50%, half of its budget revenues, and the bulk of its export earnings, close to 90%. One comment here is that the figure for the export earnings is beginning to decrease. The weight of hydrocarbons, as Algeria is deploying efforts, is striving to export beyond oil and gas. Next slide, please. So now Algeria is rich, Algeria is a good population, very well located. The thing is that the use of the natural resource wealth has contributed to the fact that Algeria is today the most electrified country in Africa, with an electrification rate which is exceptional of over 99%. So you will see in this on the left side of the map that going from north to south, you have three characteristics. In the north, you have an interconnected power generation grid nearing 20 gigawatts of installed capacity. In the center, pretty much in the center west, an integrated grid in the Adrar region, southwest of Algeria. And then you will see in the rest of the country further south on the borders, along the borders, isolated power generation poles, which are in scattered areas of the Algerian desert. And these projects are, or segments, are undergoing hybridization efforts, which are combining diesel and solar. Next slide, please. So this clearly illustrates the absolutely remarkable evolution of the electricity and gas networks development since Algeria's independence from France in 1962, with a notable acceleration of this trend marked in the years 2000. So you can see that Algeria, yes, has based its model on fossil fuels, this is true, but has accomplished a lot. On the African scale, this is absolutely notable. Next slide, please. Now, looking ahead, Algeria aims at keeping this trend. Why? Because simply the expected annual power demand growth will be at minimum 5% for the next 10 years. So if we make projections by 2030 or beyond, Algeria will really need to keep up. And you can see in the slide that it's roughly $5 billion of investments, all inclusive, of course, of the different equipments and services and expertise to really keep up with the demand. So lots of opportunities there. Next slide, please. Now, this is a very important slide in my presentation because that shows that the model is not balanced. It's heavily relying on fossil fuels, as indicated by Professor Thier. And that's really where Algeria is a turning point. To keep up with the phenomenal progress accomplished, it needs really to reinvent a little bit a new balance, a new paradigm, which definitely will be introducing renewable energies. Next slide, please. And this is why, in this slide, you see very ambitious and willful targets by 2030, which is really to be able to have a very sound balance of the energy model that will include up to 27% of the electricity generation from renewable resources and primarily solar, PV solar. Next slide, please. And I would not like to conclude my brief presentation without pointing the efforts which are promising of Algeria to not just have targets, but also start implementing to some extent, at least those. So, which is the beginning of an evolution marked since 2015. And we look forward to further expansions in the near future. And we, of course, would like you to contribute to this effort. And definitely, we will keep working very closely with Dr. Chikhoune, Professor Thier, and all the players to make this goal an achievable goal. So thank you very much for your interest and attention. I look forward to staying in touch with you very soon.
Thank you, Kamal, for joining actually from the US Embassy in Algeria. This is actually a very informative presentation, and thank you for mentioning the position of Algeria in North Africa. And I would add, this is like a best gateway for US companies to get not only to the Sahel and also to the rest of the continent, and even reaching the Middle East, and then also getting to Europe. So whatever any US company is doing business in Algeria, please consider not only Algeria, but also doing a big business and get to use it as the gateway to the other destination. I would like at this time, and it's a great pleasure now, to introduce our expert, Dr. Mouloud Bakli, who is an expert in the renewable energy. He's going to actually now do his presentation. I think it's going to be more technical at this time. Mouloud, it's your turn now.
Hello, everybody. Good evening or good morning, whatever the time is. I'm Mouloud Bakli. I'm very happy and honored to be part of this honorable audience. What I'd like to do in the next 15 minutes is give you an overview of Algeria renewable energy market and the more important, the opportunities. So basically, I'm also the country manager of a Luxembourg-based company, which is a developer in wind. And from Luxembourg, we have about 3,200 megawatt we are developing in Africa. We have a very ambitious program in Algeria. And I'm talking from Dubai here, and I'm also sitting in the board of a few companies here in the Middle East. Especially, I'm in the board of a company called Smart Gulf Solar, which is really one of the rising star here in the Middle East and installing many gigawatts. Anyways, so quickly, let's go to the next slide. So quickly, just a quick bio on me. I would say raised, and my first 13 years of experience were in the Silicon Valley in Santa Clara, southern San Francisco. I worked basically in semiconductors. Then I moved to UK 2 years, and then I went to Air Liquide. I was global head of solar, running the business worldwide. And then when I was in the US, I was doing a lot of due diligence on a lot of startups. Some of them are today either acquired by Ministry of Defense in USA or by big companies like NP. And as I said earlier, I am working with a platform, which is a partner with IFC and General Electric, and developing a major project in Algeria. I'm also the president of a think tank called Energia, which is doing a lot of webinars in Algeria on different themes. Let's go to the next slide. So quickly, I will talk about who are the stakeholders in Algeria. What do you need to know if you want to knock on the door of renewable energy in Algeria, and what are the different entities and what are their roles? Quickly on the country mapping, what is the latest update that we have on renewable energy program? Because as you may have been, if you have been following Algeria program, you may have seen that from 2000 and the last decade, it has changed a lot, and we will talk about that. A lot of people don't know exactly how many megawatt installed today integrated into the grid. I'll cover that quickly. But as you guys all want to do business in Algeria, you would like to hear about the tenders that has been awarded and the tenders that are upcoming. Give you an overview of what we call total available market in Algeria. I mean, what is the opportunity and how can a US company can participate in that? Next slide, please. So these are the main entities today you have in Algeria. If you want to do business in Algeria, you need to spend, a few seconds on this and try to understand that. I'm not going to go through all of them, but very quickly, the key one is the Ministry of Renewable Energy, head by Minister Benat Hussein. We have also the CREG. The CREG is really basically the company that determines the price of electricity and gas in the country. And then we have different other entities. I would say one of the most important one are Ministry of Energy and Sonelgas and SKTM. Sonelgas and SKTM is launching already a lot of projects in the country, and they have a very ambitious program, and they actually made the fusion of a company called Shems, which is a one-stop shop for companies who would like to bid on the next IPP. Also, nevertheless, there's the AEC. This is the desalination plant entity in Algeria. As I said, a lot of people don't know. Algeria is number 2 or number 3 with 1.7 million cubic meter desalinated per day. And all this, if you take 1 cubic meter of water desalinated, 40% of that is electricity. So there are, we're having some discussion with the AEC and some of the entities are doing desalination to actually replace the electricity by solar. It will bring some substantial saving on the cost, but also it will contribute to reduce the carbon footprint. And then I am Mouloud Bakli, and I'm running this think tank that we have a few members in Algeria, and we have also the solar cluster run by Mr. Boukhal. Let's go to the next one. So you must know this as well, otherwise you won't be in this call. Algeria have an exceptional irradiation potential. And it's not in the south. It's not where the temperature is 60 degrees in the summer. This is actually where it's the worst place for solar. It's more in what we call the high hill, the haut plateau in French. And this is the regions like Jelfa, Naama, Al-Bayt. These regions there have an exceptional irradiation, exceptional yield. And also we discovered over the last 2 or 3 years that also we have an amazing potential in wind. I will not talk about it a lot today, but the region of Jelfa could be one of the largest pole or largest area for wind in Africa. Let's go to the next slide. So this is the latest update. As I said, it has been changing, and I'm not going to go through why and etc. But it seems like now we're moving to a consolidation, and everybody in this call, I think, is waiting for the 1 gigawatt tender to come out. But this is the plan as it is today. We have a 2035 plan. There's a mix of all renewable energy. Like we say, that the biggest part is PV, and this is very normal. And if you see here in the Middle East, it's actually in the Middle East is 95% PV. CSP is there, but it's still going down a lot because of the cost and many issues related to water and maintenance. Wind, today the program is 2 gigawatt, but from discussions I had over the last 6 months with different entities in Algeria, I think this is going to be much more than the 2 gigawatt. So why we're doing that in Algeria? We're doing this because we wanna save gas. The more we do PV, the more we save gas. The more we do export. Also, we can create jobs. 1 megawatt is about 30 to 45 jobs per megawatt, and basically. Also, the third driver is the country wants to reduce the electricity subvention. You know, in Algeria, electricity is subsidized by almost 60%. By doing PV, we can get rid completely of that. Let's go to the next slide. So as I said earlier, not a lot of people know, but Algeria, we have right now about 440 plus megawatt installed. This is PV connected to the grid. These are all the regions that are spread over the country. These are EPC projects, so there's no IPP, there's no electricity electricity power purchase agreement. But at least we have this, and we can say that we can learn from that in terms of operating and maintenance, etc. We are ranked number 3 and not second like in the slide, after South Africa and Egypt. Next slide, please. So. People here are looking at what are the tenders. So there was a tender of IPP for local players with local money, local currency. On that one, it was 150 megawatt. 50 megawatt has been awarded. And we do believe from discussion we had with Craig that there'll be a relaunch of 100 megawatt, I think before the end of the year, hopefully. And then they plan to go with a run rate of about 150 megawatt per year. Next slide, please. That's an important slide as well. This is not a PPA, IPP type of project. These are EPC, which are on a dollar per watt cost basis. And where we launched already, the country launched already 50 megawatt, all have been awarded. They're in construction. Some of them is already commissioned, but they've been having some delay. Part of that was due to the pandemic. But recently, 22.1 megawatt has been relaunched. This was like a month ago, or a month and a half ago, and Sonelgaz, next slide, please. Sonelgaz has launched another 500 megawatt. It was announced last week. So 1 gigawatt. So this is, I think, one of the most important, everybody, even here in the Middle East, everybody in Europe is looking at the 1 gigawatt of Algeria. So it's going to be driven by the Ministry of Renewable Energy and Energy Transition. Right now, we do believe that the tender should come out probably in October, November. I'm moving to the October, November timeframe. Treatments of the bids is going to be, I think it'll take minimum 3 months. And we believe from experience in other regions in the Middle East, in Maghreb area or in Egypt, or it'll take, I would say 6 months to finalize the winners of the tenders. Can you go to the next slide, please? So we had several discussions and meetings with the Ministry of Renewable Energy. And here's a summary quickly of what the takeaway. What you just, I'm not going to go through every and each item, but basically what you should, the takeaway is it seems like the contract will be bankable and will be indexed in somehow to foreign currency. There'll be a vehicle, which will be the SHEMS, which will take up to 17, maybe a little bit higher %. And this is very good because we have this in the water desalination project in Algeria. And this brings what we call pacte de sécurité in French, or security package for foreigners. And they like that, you know, when you talk to companies like Cobra, like Suez, or other Spanish company, having a share to Sonatrach, they like that because for them it's a security that they're going to be paid within a take or pay project. So the tender right now, what we know is going to be 10 lots, not fully determined in terms of size, and there will be a big focus on the supply chain and the local content. And actually here in the region is very, very interesting. You know, there's a kind of a change in the perception of the all Chinese. Now, a lot of people are looking at replacing the all Chinese by local manufacturing, or going to Europe, going to USA. Let's go to the next slide, please. So in Algeria, and regarding the structuring, because if we have IPP companies here, this is a typical structuring that we think is going to happen. I took here an IPP scheme that we have in Africa in many countries. So it is going to be like this, with an IPP in the middle, which will be the off-taker. It could be you know, one of the Sky Power. We have Hecate, to take a name of some from the US companies. And there will be a structuring to basically take in the IPP side, but also in the debt, and we will have also to use local partners. I'm not going to go more into detail. Let's go to the next one. So let's go beyond 2021. If we look at all the announcement that has been done by the government, the roadmap, Sonatrach, AEC, this is basically what comes out. What comes out is actually that the country is moving to an IPP scheme. And this is what we see everywhere, what we see in Saudi, in Egypt, in Jordan, in Dubai, even in Iraq, in Syria, in many countries in Europe, that we little by little, we are getting away from the EPC and going from the EIPP, which is a long-term power purchase agreement. This is all the announcement. I put them in one slide. Let's go to the next slide. And what is the approach in Algeria for local content? Well, today there is an incentive, or there is there is an incentive, and we are encouraging Algeria, the made in Algeria. And actually, we probably are one of the strongest countries in the Maghreb for sure, and in Africa in terms of local industry, because of, you know, Algeria has been waiting for this program for ages. So we have a lot of very good companies are making local components, mounting structure, panels and cables, etc. Let's go to the next slide. So this is what we had in 2013. This is all the supply chain. A lot of that was red in 2013, but because of this program that has been announced and the fact encouraging local content. Now go to the next slide. Today, a lot of those squares are green now, which means there is now an industry in Algeria for solar energy, and we can now, and we have about 500 megawatts very soon of local content companies that can provide, that can do in Algeria, and also they can export. Let's go to the next slide, please. And this is, I'm just doing squares. I'm giving names here. I'm going very precise example. We have companies in the cable. Actually, we have very good companies in the cable. We have one Egyptian and one Algerian, and they're exporting all around the world. We have a mounting structure company. As you can see, we have a company called SPS. They are exporting in Africa, and module also, PV module. We have right now about 300 megawatt, but we believe from the announcement that we saw, this probably will at least double within the next 12 months. In terms of a presence, this is what we have in the country. So we see there is all kind of companies coming to Algeria from Spain, from France, from the USA. We have GE from USA, from Turkey, from China, and from Italy, of course. Go to the next slide. I'm going a little bit fast because I want to make sure I fit within the timing. This is because as I said, I've spent over 10 years in the USA, so I'm still in contact with a lot of companies in the US, and this is kind of my first mapping of companies that would be interested to come to Algeria. It's not the full list. It's just a sample of some companies I've cited here. Next Tracker, RETC, which is also run by a CEO is from Algeria, and Hekati, Nextra, Pattern. These are IPP companies. And one thing interesting about green hydrogen, everybody's talking about green hydrogen. US is providing another way to do green hydrogen, which in my opinion is having much more attractive than the European German way. I have nothing against that, but the US today are able to produce green hydrogen with less than $3 per kg, which is very, very interesting. And it's completely different from what the German way is pushing Algeria and other countries in the Maghreb to go. All right, let's go to the next slide. So you may say, okay, all this is being said. So how a US company can come? I've hit a sample. I took 3 examples here. There's the IPP with foreign currency, the IPP with local currency, and also the EPC. If US company wants to come, and actually there are right now on the ground, we have Chinese, we have Italians, we have French, already not much Americans. They are on the ground today in Algeria. They are talking to us. They're asking us how to prepare for the tender, what are the lands, what is the price of kilowatt hour we can develop, who are the supply chain, because they need to sign agreements to get the supply chain and qualify it. So they need to find an APC. They need to bring finance, because all the IPP projects need equity and finance. And there's a plenty of DFIs that are ready to come to Algeria from the World Bank, EBRD, African Bank. In Dubai here, we have at least 5 funds that can tomorrow come to Algeria. So everybody's hungry to come to Algeria. There's no more 5149, so don't be scared about that. So just click the button and come, and we'll support you. IPP with local, I think this would be a little bit tricky, and I'm not going to be pushing the US companies to come to that one, because this is more into the local currency scheme. Third one, which is the EPC, that's also very interesting. You do have actually Chinese, French, German, and Turkish participating in that. This is just basically EPC. EPC is you install a solar farm, you get paid, you provide 2 years of O&M, operating and warranty, and that's it. So if you have a company that is established in dollar in Algeria, you're going to be paid in dollar, and you get your money back and you get your coins back, if to use a US expression. So that's also an area that could be an interest for US companies. So you can come as a pre-EPC player. You need to create a local Algerian-owned company. Of course, you need to do proper diligence on the local supply chain, because you're going to be having bonuses when you use the local module, the local cable, the local mounting structure. We soon going to have also trackers in Algeria with some of the players that we are talking to. Let's go to the last slide. Yeah, so just to take away, I've mentioned a lot of things. So Algeria is a late entrant, which is probably the last country in Africa now to move, one of the last countries to move to solar. And I think it has to do with the fact that for a long time we have been, the DNA of the country has been really a DNA of oil and gas. And when I've been pushing for solar for the last, I would say, almost 10 years now, I always speak with people who has been, DNA, petrol and gas, and they don't even believe in solar. Now, more and more, I think I see more people in Algeria saying, oh, actually solar is good. Solar is cheaper than the gas. We can achieve today in Saudi, they published 1.5 cents kilowatt hour, which is 10 times less what Algeria pays for every kilowatt hour done with the conventional. So this is something that the country Algeria is realizing, I think, right now, finally. One thing I want to point out, since we have a Professor Redha here, actually we did the calculation, and with 1 gigawatt, one day, every day Algeria is losing more than $500,000. And we did the math and we did the calculation of that. So every day we are losing $500,000. The country is losing $500,000 per day, 365 days per year, and over 25 years. So this is a key. I mean, this number 2 should be on the head of everyone responsible decision maker in Algeria. The gas domestic consumption is not linear; it's exponential. So we used to say, 5 years ago, we have enough gas. We have enough gas. I think soon we're going to be having a choice: either we supply internal or we export. We cannot do both. And as I discussed earlier, we have a huge potential in wind and solar, and we have a strategic position in North Africa. Like you said, Dr. Chikhoune, we could be the gateway for Africa. And we have over 500 megawatt of company that can manufacture components, so we can go also and export to Africa. Anyway, so and I think finally to the success of Algeria is really the country has to go and work hard on trying to change the DNA from oil and gas to renewable one. 2, we have to understand what is the culture of PPA, IPP, and bankability. These are very key. We will never be able to do anything in solar and long-term projects and large-scale projects if we don't understand, if we're still confusing debt with the project financing, and we have to really understand how all that mechanism works and what is the solvability at the country level, what is the solvability of a contract. We need to understand that. If we don't understand that and not get educated on this, that will be a problem. Domestic content or the local content is a major play. Maybe 5 years ago, people would say it was ridiculous to do local content. Today, I can tell you here in the Middle East, in Europe, where there is something we call in French la réindustrialisation de l'Europe, which means bringing back industry back to Europe from China. That's a big push now to come back to fundamentals of doing solar and a local industry. Well, I think that's it. As I said, I mapped out a few companies from US that really can bring a lot of things, but the list is much longer, hopefully, and I would be very glad to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bakli. This is a very detailed presentation and very, I think, encouraging now. You gave all the details on how US company can then be involved for the tenders, the future tenders here in Algeria. And again, as you said, there is a need in having the involvement of US companies, and we hope with all the information that you gave today from the Professor Redha Tir, and also from your presentation, that we will have US companies competing there in Algeria. And as you said, the market is huge, and we hope then, and we are ready now to help them accomplish this type of business. I think at this time now, it's time for the Q&A session, and I see now we do have some questions already on the, let's see here. First question from Hill International. The question was, can you please let us know how we could present our company to the CNESE? And also let us know to which ministries or entities we need to approach in order to participate in such program. Whoever wants to answer on this, I think probably the CNESE has a way through their website how to connect with them if you need any other information. And now, when it comes to participate, you probably saw the presentation of Dr. Bakli. There are some entities that that were listed there in charge for these tenders. And what we can do is, per your request, we will then have this presentation available for people that are interested, and they need just to contact the USABC, and we will then publish this presentation. Then we have another from Algerian Renewable company asking how we as a renewable energy consultant be able to get involved with supporting development of solar and wind project in Algeria. Again, you you can contact us, the USABC here in Washington, or again in the CNESE in Algeria, since they are pretty much covering many sectors, and one of them it's this renewable energy. Again, you can contact them also through their website, and they have a contact information there. And the last question, I think it was also for the, if the presentation be available for the participant. Yes, as I said, we will then put them on the website, and you can then, or you can call us, and definitely we can help you in getting this presentation. Other questions? I think the probably Dr. Bakli, you covered everything. This is why no one had a question now. He covered all aspects of the how to engage U.S. company for these tenders, and also maybe we have Professor Thier here if he wants to add something on people how they can basically participate in these tenders.
Thank you, Mr. Chikhoune. I thank I would to thank Mouloud Bakli for the interesting presentation that he presented today. It is a complete market study for American companies. You have all numbers, and you have all issues related to renewables here in Algeria. And I have to give you a response to the question of the role of the CNESE. We are here as a facilitator, as a mediator between the Algerian government and companies, local and foreign companies. So we are dealing now with many requests, many demands, problems also to be solved by the Algerian government, by ministries, by public agencies. And now the CNESE has this ability, this capacity to give them solutions and ask the government to execute the solution if it is considered as a robust solution for the issue. This is important for you. Why? Because the Algerian now can't continue dealing with this I would say this autarky in economy. Now we have to be in this open economy based on technology, based on prefer more economic exchange, to be involved more and more in international trade, international business. And this is the one of mission or one of the important dimensions of this new role of the CNESE in Algeria. So don't hesitate to check periodically our website. It is also with 4 languages. You have English language on the website, and you have to introduce if you have questions, demands, or other things. You have to introduce your information on this platform, and we are here to guarantee transmission of the problem and the solution to the Algerian government. Also, and this is important, all American companies can use these many channels to be here on the Algerian market. So people or specialists like Mouloud can help all or the majority of your companies to start or to set up a business here in Algeria quickly, as he like what he mentioned on his presentation. This is important. How American can be here in Algeria and how can they get more benefits from our new legislation. This is important, and we are here to support them and support also the council when dealing with these questions and issues with American companies. Also, I thank Kamal for his participation today. If I met Kamal, I know that he's a good person, and he is also all times is involved in many issues between American embassy in Algiers and many ministers and agencies here in Algeria. Also, the CNESE, when the issue is in relation with cooperation, bilateral cooperation, US-Algeria. Thank you very much again, and the floor is yours, Mr. Chikhoune.
Thank you, Professor Tier, for this conclusion, and again, thank you for promoting the business there in Algeria. And as you said, Dr. Bakli did mention how the process and how can US companies can be involved there, and I'm pretty much sure that as we get other questions now asking how we can be involved doing business in Algeria. It's simple. US companies, currently there is more than 100 US companies in different sectors active in Algeria. So just to assure you that the US can really do business. Some of them, the major one, are doing excellent job there, and they are doing an excellent partnership with either Algerian public companies and also with the private. There are a lot of success stories, and this is why we encourage you to consider really now Algeria, and this is the right time. Tenders are coming probably towards the end of this month, and no later than November, you will have the tender for the 1 gigawatt, and we hope that we're going to have a lot of US companies in different fields, actually. The one involved in consultancy to the one that can produce, and also to mention also there are a lot of facilitations there and incentives by the Algerian government. And as you can see, there is also a manpower there important, a lot of skilled Algerians in the labor there to hire, really. This is why we need to consider all this aspect, that we're having a young generation there that are very skilled ones to be able to work. And again, what we say to major US companies, always it's better to have an Algerian partner. He's gonna accompany you there. You're gonna act very fast. They know how to do business in Algeria, because things are different between the US and Algeria, and it's always good to have an Algerian partner who can accompany you and in succeeding in this partnership. Again, as I said, there are many success stories, and Algeria is open to do business and looking for US expertise. And please, for all these companies interested in this next tender, you can, as I said, either contact us here in Washington, the US Algeria Business Council, or the CNESE, also in Algeria. They are dealing, actually, just recently, they got part of the Algerian Constitution, and they are the ones who is going to give now pretty much all the orientation and for the entire government of Algeria to all ministries. This is to let everyone know how important the CNESE is in Algeria. it's a new vision, and this is why I think, and this is very good for the Algerian government in getting a private entity, because they are independent. They are not part of the government, but they are independent, which the government rely on them. And this is very important. This is, I think, something to notice in the region, that now Algeria has an independent entity that is working in developing social and economic development there in Algeria. This is a plus. And again, we would like this time to thank all the presenters, and starting with Professor Tierden from Algiers, who took the time. Thank you, Professor, for taking all the time to stay with us, and being also our co-organizer once again for the big event in March about the renewable energy. It's 3 days in Algiers. Please, for the ones that are not registered yet, please do it. And also thank also the US Embassy with always the great support they are giving us every time we organize the event. And this is a daily business with them. Also, the Algerian Embassy here in Washington, as I said, under the leadership of His Excellency Majid Bouguera, who is very, very supportive of the activities of the USABC. And he's been an asset for us for the last 6 years. And again, Mouloud BakliCountry from Dubai took the time. I know it's too late. It's very late there in Dubai. Thank you again for all your expertise. We saw the biography. It's really very outstanding, and congratulations for all that accomplishment.
In Algeria, second half of November, we can meet as well there.
Absolutely, yes, exactly. Yeah, look forward to the to meeting with you.
I hope the tender will be out before I reach Algeria.
Inshallah, as we say, yeah.
Yeah, if I may, Dr. Ismail, I would like to add that at the embassy, the U.S. Commercial Service has energy and power as one of our key priorities. It's one of our pillars to enhance the bilateral cooperation. So please know that you can rely on us to help you find partners in Algeria of different natures, because this is something we know to do very well. So you can count on us for that.
And I can witness that. That's totally true.
Thank you.
You just need to get access, and you will get all the support. I think at this time, I would like to thank all the participants. We were over 50, which is good. I think we got attention. This is very promising, 50 US companies. And I'm sending the message now, please consider Algeria. As I put it on the beginning of the slogan, it is the right time to consider Algeria. And we hope that you guys will succeed, and we are here, all different agencies and associations, to support and help you accomplish your business there in Algeria. And once again, I thank you for participating on today's webinar, and I look forward to talking to you soon and meeting with some of you soon also.
Okay, Ismail, and the honorable assistants, I wish you all the best. Thank you for time, for your effort and help.
Thank you.
See you soon for Mouloud, for Chikhoune, and for the American companies that want to be here in Algeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.